Hello, 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 hello. Dun 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 na, 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 na. That should be the theme song for 2024. Why do my eyes look so puffy this morning? Oh, dear goodness gracious. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Untangled. We are on episode 112. So happy to be with you. It's December 31st, 2024, for any of you watching this later on. What a ride. What a ride. What a ride. How are much better. How are you guys? Hi, Miley. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Katie. Hi, Low Wild. Hi, Elaine and Anonym. Melissa, Ramon, Angela, Astrid, Kathy, Ascension Brother. Hello, Florida. Oh, it's so good to be here with you guys on our last day of 2025. Listen, or 2024. I'm really happy that we made it. I really, really feel like all of us deserve a party when you wake up on the first day of 2025. So if there is no party for you when you open your eyes on 2025, January 1st, please, I want you to imagine your bedroom full of people with balloons and a cake and those little blowy gazoo things and just the little party hats, and they're just applauding you. Like they're doing a standing ovation. And you get to wake up and say, thank you. I'm so proud of myself. I made it. I think we all deserve that. I don't know one single person in my circle of friends and family that did not have one of the most intense, wild, chaotic, are you kidding me? Did that just happen? Years of their life. I don't. Um, Robbie! Yes, it's going to be the most incredible year. Oh my goodness gracious. I am so excited to walk into this or soar into this or fly into this with you guys. And I really, really believe that 2025, and I was saying this on Instagram just now, I really believe that 2025 is going to be a year that is going to surprise us, but surprise us in a really incredible way, almost like miracles. I think that we've been pummeled to a degree this year where we sort of have, at least for me, I've really recognized that as much as I want to be in control of everything, something happens when I allow divine will and my own free will to merge together and walk this path. And what that means is that I am not the only thing that is in control here. There is something so much bigger than me that is trying to get my attention, trying to walk with me, trying to show me the way. And I have to get out of my own way or I will be pummeled, right? Pummeled being I will find myself experiencing things that on one level I could call bad or really, really horrible or, why did this happen or why did that happen? And I think a lot of us can look back at this year and say, yeah, I had those moments for months, for weeks, or for days. It's like, why did that have to happen? And there are a couple reasons for that. One is there is something really brilliant that you learned in that experience. Can you find that gift? Can you look back at 2024 and say, I'm going to make sure that I find the tools that I was gifted with this past year? I will not let this year go in vain, meaning I will not let it go to waste. What did you get? What nuggets did you get out of this year? And don't just say, oh, this year sucked. It was horrible. I was miserable the whole time. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you can't start to see the gifts that are given to you, what are you here to receive from what you experienced? If you can't start to use that lens, I highly encourage you to let that be one of the tools that you take with you into 2025. is that I'm going to start to look at everything that's happening to me as some sort of tool. It's teaching me something. So instead of just looking at it as like, this sucks. Why did this happen? I can't believe I'm in this situation. The very old paradigm and program of how we've viewed life, we've got to let that go. We've got to stop with that nonsense, and we have to start to allow ourselves to have the human emotions. But then we've got to start to say, okay, nothing's an accident. Life is always gifting me with new opportunities and new ways of experiencing this world. I'm always expanding and growing and shifting. I'm learning how to be in this world in a very different way each and every day. And whatever is happening to me is always showing me something that I didn't see before. And you're building this toolkit. And so if you look back at 2024, what's in your toolkit from this year? What is it? Right? Instead of judging everything you experience. Oh, I can't wait to get out of 2024. I can't wait. No. 2024 was such a great gift. What did you get from it? Thank it. Be grateful for it no matter how bad it was. Because the more that we start to try to divide our experiences as good, bad, right, wrong, should, shouldn't, we're going to continue to have those types of experiences. You're going to continue to see the world in that divided state of this should have happened, this shouldn't have happened. This was a good thing for me, this was a bad thing for me. And what we want to do as we step into 2025, because what I do feel is coming is that it's not going to get less chaotic, okay? It's not. It's going to get more chaotic. We're just learning how to navigate skillfully the chaos, right? Because when energy increases in frequency, it speeds up. And that's what's happening on the planet right now. The energy and the vibration, the frequency, the energy in your body is speeding up. Unbeknownst to you, the energy on the planet is speeding up, and it's at a velocity right now that it's never been at. And what does it make it feel? What does that make us feel like? It's chaos. Like it's just a lot. It's like this, right? And all these things are happening. You can't, you're like, you're kind of just holding your head like, wait, what's coming down the pipe? What next? What do I need to figure out? Why can't I get out of this? Why do I have so much anxiety? Why am I worrying and stressed? And why do I not feel like myself? And why? There's so much because it's going like this, it's speeding up. So finding stillness, finding silence, finding the tools, right? Understanding that there is something much bigger walking with you and working with you. And you can call it whatever you want. You can see it however you want to see it. But it's not just the little you. And if there's anything that we can really reflect on is the dramatic shift in frequency from January 2024 to January 2025. We're at a very different frequency collectively on the planet. I wish we had don't comment the Schumann resonance because it's not what I'm talking about. I wish we had like an actual device that could show us what the collective medium frequency was in January of 2024 and what it is now, because the frequency is constantly slowly rising, and there's this medium that it can find itself at, even though it does this, right? It goes up and down and like your weight, right? But there's this medium state that it can find itself at, and it never sinks down below that and stays there, right? So it's always increasing slowly. And it's much higher than it was in January 2024. It'll be much higher in January of 2026. And the way I view everything is that I don't need life to get easier. I don't need life to be less chaotic. I don't need life to stop throwing me curveballs. In fact, I'm going to stop trying to control or predict life. And instead, I'm going to let life surprise me. Like I would much rather be in surprise of life than trying to predict what's coming. And all these prediction videos of like, okay, this is what's going to come, this is what's going to come down, what's going to happen in 2025. And most of those videos, they rarely do they actually unravel in that way. All that does is create anxiety and stress or fear, because you're now trying to predict a future. I think one of the things that we're going to start to settle back down into, or not even back, but settle into, is stop predicting. Stop trying to figure out. Stop trying to look forward in the future as to what's going to come. Because all that does is it creates a restriction or a tightness. It makes you feel, it gives you the illusion that you're safe, right? Because you think you, now that you know what's coming, you can relax into the now. The problem with that kind of way of seeing or thinking or looking is that you're so attached to these ideas or these possibilities that if it doesn't happen, then there's some sort of letdown or um, stress. There's a lot of worry that can happen. Oh my God, if this doesn't happen, then what? Oh my God, if I don't get this job, then what? Oh my God, if I don't move, then what? Right. And instead, learning how, especially in 2025, to let go of an expectation of how something needs to be, let go of trying to figure out what's coming, let go, literally let go of trying to understand what the government's going to do next, or what this person's going to do next, or whether there's going to be an alien invasion. Every year they say there's an alien invasion. When are we going to just say, who gives a shit? Let it, who cares? Just live your life and focus on what gifts you're being given. You see, we're so focused on the external world and what's coming or what might happen or blah, 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 that we are not actually expanding or evolving at the capacity and rate that we could, because our eyes are focused out there instead of inside. And when we focus inside, internally, to what is happening here, then you're able to be of greatest service to the world. The reason we're here on the planet is not only to move through this evolution in human consciousness, but it is to be able to serve humanity in this way. And we don't necessarily want to serve humanity through this self-righteous, egoic perspective of what can I get? How can I receive more? I need more money. I need more success. I need more this, right? It's a very self-righteous, self-centered, egoic sort of way of being on the planet. And the more that we can be in presence with whatever is unraveling in front of us, knowing that it's always for our highest good and it's gifting us with possibility, it's gifting us with gifts that we can share with others, we'll get quieter, we'll listen more. Wait a second. I can be of greater service if I stop trying to figure things out, get out of things, fix me, but instead look at how this is reorganizing my own awareness and the way in which I view myself and the way in which I view others and the way in which I view this world. And it's reorganizing all of that so I can learn how to be more brave and courageous in whatever I'm in, right? Getting excited and curious almost as to what this is going to show you, what this is going to teach you. So your lens is shifting. And then as you become more courageous and more like, oh my God, this is miraculous what I'm experiencing, even if it's very challenging, because nothing is given to you so that you suffer. Everything is preparing you to be able to succeed, to be able to soar, to be able to fly, to be able to flow, right? And the flow state is not this like 5D, I am love and light. The flow state is that there are going to be boulders, there's going to be rocks, it's going to get rocky, it's going to get there's going to be a lot of rapids, there's going to be a free fall, waterfall. You don't have any idea in the flow state what's coming. And in the flow state, you don't care. You're just in the moment and you're doing what you can to assist yourself and assist others, but you're not actually in control of what is unraveling. And that is going to be a key piece to 2025. All these details that we get into, all these specifics of what we get into, it's such an excess energy that we are putting out that pulls us from being able to be more self aware so that we can assist humanity. I think in the next couple of years, one of the greatest things that's going to happen with humanity is we're going to start recognizing the importance of seriously, truly showing up to serve, right? How can I serve best today? Whether it's my friends, my family, my children, my coworkers, strangers, but how can I serve? So it's going to be less about like me. How can I get more? How can I do more? How can I, and it's going to be about service, service, service. Because when we start to become in alignment with our soul and with God, whatever you want to call God, it becomes, it's no longer about you. the you that's walking around as this human, you know, trying to make, whatever, I'm gonna make a six-figure whatever these things are that we're serving each other right now, and convincing each other is gonna make us happy. God bless everyone that's doing that, but the more you come into alignment with soul, the more you come into alignment with spirit, with God, with all that is, the less it's about these materialistic things, and the more it's about service too, and everything starts to shift, right? And so whatever's arising in your 2024, whatever happened in your 2024, I guarantee it. I guarantee you, it a part of it is to create this sense of service in some way, shape, or form to the world. So again, just reflecting back, we tend to find ourselves, and I do this all the time, where it's a very like self-focused lens. How do I get out of this? How do I stop this? How do I no longer feel this? Um, and I encourage you to look at all of what you navigated and moved through, and start to see how that is here to serve others, right? The saddest thing that could possibly happen is that we go through all these things, right? These really tumultuous things, and then we don't gift it to others. Meaning, what did you learn? What did you learn in all of that? Tell me. What did like how did you navigate that? What worked for you? What didn't work for you? Right? Like, gift me with the pain and suffering that you went through so that I could maybe navigate it better. But a lot of times we don't like to do that because, one, we think we're going to be judged. We don't think that we did it correctly. We don't think that we have the people who want to hear us, or they want to listen to us. I'm telling you, humans are in real deep states of suffering right now because our minds are being taken over, right? In a way in which it's blowing, mind boggling. And so whatever you've gone through, share it. Help others. What worked for you? What didn't work for you, right? Don't keep it to yourself in 2025. Don't. There are so many people that are going to be going through really intense experiences this coming year. And if we can learn from 2024, which means for me, it's throwing up my hands even more. I do not want to be in control. I want to make choices in my life, and I want to continue to make choices in my life, but I don't want to be the one that's in control. I don't. I want some sort of higher aspect of me to be in control, which means that I'm going to be looking at something other than the Lori that's always doing things because she wants this and she wants that, but instead focusing on soul, focusing on spirit, focusing on God, and using that lens, right? The other thing I want to do going into 2025 is that I want to be surprised by life. I want life to keep surprising me, which means I don't know. Just keep surprising me. I am expecting surprise instead of prediction. I don't want to ever know what's coming. I don't. I want to I want life to surprise me at such a capacity next year that I am even more blown away than I was in 2024. Because as difficult as 2024 was for me on many levels, it was the most miraculous year of my life in terms of what unraveled for me and what was gifted to me by life, and by myself. Really, honestly, it's miraculous. And I believe that you're going to have a very miraculous year in 2025. Miracles come when you let go of control. Miracles arrive when you stop thinking that you know how to get to where you're going. That's where miracles reside, in the unknown. That's why we call them miracles, right? We have to believe in the, you have to have faith and trust in life, in what you're going through and what you're moving through. You have to have so much trust and faith that something else that's not quite the you that navigates life is guiding you. Whether you want to call it spirit, soul, God, universe, source, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not the little you that takes control and says, okay, I'm going to do this and now I'm going to do this. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But there in 2025, I encourage you to start saying, wait, there's something bigger here guiding me. Soul is guiding me. What is that? God is guiding me. What is that? Part of the evolution in human consciousness, part of this process of awakening is recognizing that you are not who you think you are. You're not who you think you are. You think you're Donna or Loretta or Ketis or Katie or Cards and Kundalini, Claire, Peter. You think that's who you are. And on one level, it is who you are. It's the character you're playing, and it's a very real character. I mean, it is real as real can be, right? But it's not who you are. You are this miraculous essence of soul or spirit that's connected to this miraculous essence that's God, that is more powerful than Lori or Donna or Peter or Patricia. Even though it's you, it's not the you that you play. The character you play is still very egoic, very programmed, very fearful. It's mind, it's the mind of us is controlled. There's a lot of things that are pulling us away from or separating us from who we are, which is soul, spirit, God. And so as we start peeling this back and start living more in that aligned state, we got to start connecting to that aspect of us more and more. Right? And so when you start doing that, it's like you're starting to hand over to this aspect life. Take it. Show me. Right? And people in the spiritual community, especially in the new age community, they say, "Well, everything's in me. I've got everything that I need." I'm not going to hand it over to anybody because I am everything. I am one. I am God. I am all of it. And I have everything I need inside of me. And I would say, well, sure, but do you live that way? Right? Do you live in flow? Do you live in faith and trust? Do you let go? Are you trying to continue to fix yourself, change yourself? Right? It's one thing to say, yeah, I've got it all inside of me and I'm all, I'm one. I'm God, I'm whatever. And it's another to actually be in that, live in that. And so there's this phase that humanity is going to go through that's going to require them to step into that aspect. And the way that you step into it is, first of all, you have to realize that you've been playing the character. There's nothing wrong with the character. Why can we not be humbled by the fact that we're playing a character? It's like, no, I am God. I am one with source. I am spirit. Well, no, you're actually 99.9% of the time this character that's doing all these things and watching all these TV things and getting caught up in this and that. No, most of us are pretty characterish, pretty human. We are. And every once in a while, we get these opportunities and moments to really feel soul or to really feel God in us and around us. And it's like, oh, yes, this is incredible. And then boom, back into life as the character. And so there has to be this moment, which is moments, which could be years, hopefully not, but this phase in our evolution where we start to hand over life to soul, hand over our choices to soul or to God. We hand it, take this, show me, because we become humble enough to understand that the part of us that's trying to make all these decisions is really messed up because we've been deeply programmed. And we have a lot of fear and anxiety and stress and worry. And we're trying to get rid of all the different emotions we don't like to feel. And we're trying to change people. And we don't want to be around these people because they're like this. And we don't want to be around these people because they're like that. We want, like, there's just so much programming. We are nowhere near the integration of soul and God, but we're starting to. And so when you start to recognize, like, wait a second, what would it be like in 2025 if I literally started to hand over my life to a version of me that I cannot see, very difficult to hear at times, but it's going to show me what's next. It's going to guide me. It's what's going to gift me. It's still you, okay? For all of us that, like, get really stubborn about this, it is still you, but it's not the you you're comfortable and familiar with. Okay? We've got to start to really let go. And that's for me, 2025 is this, like, real embodiment of letting go of that controlled state and energetically beginning to allow for what is also me, but has not been integrated yet fully, which I'm humbly, comfortably saying. But we have to begin to have this conversation with ourselves and our soul and God or source or whatever you want to call it. It's in here. Soul is in here. That's 100%. God is in here. Avi, source, whatever you want to call it. It's in here. But your capacity to tap into that and to access that, I'm sorry, I do not mean to, like, you know, burst our bubbles, but we may be able to feel it. Okay. We may be able to know it, like, oh, yeah, I know that. But to be able to live as it, that's what we're stepping into. That's the next 10 years, 15 years of this evolution, is the embodiment of soul and God within the human character's life. It's what a lot of the masters did. It's what Jesus did. And it's a very humbling moment. It's a very humbling experience that we're in. It's very difficult. And a lot of people may listen to this and say, nah, I got to just take care of my own physical stuff. Your physical stuff you're going through is gifting you with the opportunity or the ability to say, I'm going to hand this over to something bigger than me. I'm so freaked out. I have to trust in something bigger. I have to. Something bigger, meaning something that is not the you that is conditioned, controlled, manipulated, right? Programmed to see the world and to be in the world in the way that we have most of our lives. I could go on and on and on today. As many of you know, if you did not watch my last Untangled, go watch last week's Untangled, which I can't believe it was a week ago. I literally had the most intense experience of my life 2 Wednesdays ago when in the evening. Some sort of exorcism happened. It's kind of a blur to me, but it was insanely intense. Much of the details have been left out. But I have shifted. There has been miracle after miracle that has happened to me since then, 2 weeks right before the new year. And I have this energy that I've never had before. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've had this energy before, but it's been a long time since I've been this alert, awake, vibrant in my body. There are some real intense energies that we're taking in right now that we don't realize. It's causing mental distress. It's causing physical distress. It's causing spiritual distress, and it's causing emotional distress. It's not you. It's not. We're stepping into a time now where it's not like it was in the past 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago of, oh, I have mental illness, or, oh, I have trauma I need to heal. Or now that's not to say that we don't have trauma to heal. There are millions of humans that do. But a lot of us are moving beyond that. And it's now like, oh, this is a different level of experience on the planet. This is an energetic battle. People don't like when I use the word battle, but sorry, that's what it is. You're it's like a it's you're for me at least, it's like I am literally battling energies. And I can feel it. And it's also the most beautiful, miraculous experience. Life is so freaking beautiful. Um, you know, to be able to go through the depths of darkness and pop out and say, "Oh my God, I life is so freaking great. Bring it on." Drop me deeper into that if I'm going to be able to pop out and see life in even more incredible uh, lenses. So it's lots of people want to say to me, "Well, Lori, you shouldn't. You don't need to go into the darkness in order to understand the beauty of life." Um, I'm not in charge. If God wants to show me demons and God wants to show me the darkness that has resided within my mind and within my body the last 6 months, I'm going to let that happen so that I can pop out and get the lessons and the tools to keep going. If I'm going to gain some extra tools in that, yes, please show me what was taking over my body. Yes, please. I'm not fighting against what life is going to gift me. I will not fight against life. I'm not going to argue with life. I won't. Don't argue with life. Whatever is being presented to you, where's the gift in that? And can you not trust and understand that you are being held, supported, and loved through it? This is all about changing shifting the lens of how you are viewing your experience. That's what this is about. 2025 is not going to be any less chaotic. In fact, it's going to be more chaotic, but you're going to soar through it. I promise you, if you can look back at 2024 right now, today, really examine it like you're doing a homework, piece. What are the tools? Do not let 2024 go by and say, whatever, I'm just glad it's gone. Please take note. What'd you learn? What's in the toolbox? What are you taking with you? You're going to need it in 2025. I promise you, you're going to need it. And I guarantee you in 2025, you're going to look back at 2024 and say, "Oh my God, I remember. Okay, that's right. That's how I do this. Oh yeah, that's how I get through this. Oh yeah, that's right." Trusting yourself more than anyone else, discerning energies is the most important thing. One of the greatest tools you could possibly take with you in 2025 is discerning energies. And what that means is that you start to feel energies even more distinctly than you ever have. How do you feel right now watching this? It's irritating. Okay, great. I'm loving it. Okay, great. How do you feel when you turn something on? How do you feel when you turn something off? How do you feel when you're around someone? I've been talking about this for a year, really dissecting how you feel. And the reason this is so important in the coming years is because there are subtle infiltrations that are happening in your mind that you don't even realize, and you won't realize unless you're discerning energies. And there's so many different types of energies to discern right now that you got to start getting really good at it. Particular, you got to start peeling back, like, what's going on in my body? Is that me? Nope, doesn't feel like me. Great. A different awareness. I know it's not me. Was I watching anything that created it? No. Does it feel like somebody else's energy, right? You're becoming the scientist. It's extremely important. One of the most important tools you can take with you in this coming year is really start to discern energies. Recognize you are not a victim. Please don't play the victim role, because if you play the victim role, then you're going to be resisting life. It's like life's out to get you. 2025 is going to rock and roll us again, and we want to be empowered. So it's a feeling of like, God, bring this on, bring it on, bring it on. I know I'm guided. I know I'm protected. I know I'll be okay. I know it's gifting me with even more tools. So show me, right? 2025 is also going to be a year where your heart is going to literally like explode for humanity more and more. It's not going to matter the details, right, of what people are doing or what this person's doing or what the world, like, none of that's going to matter. It's going to start to not resonate in the same way. Meaning, The distinction between this group or that group, it's not going to matter anymore. The distinction between awake people and non-awake people, it's not going to matter anymore. What program, what systems are doing in the world, it's not going to matter as much anymore. What's going to matter is the connections that you have with people, community, connection, and connection with people that you would never connect with, that don't have the same interests necessarily, but there's going to be this beautiful, slow but beautiful connection and community that's going to start to happen, where this kind of divide that we have held on to for so long, because I believe this and you believe that, it's going to slowly start to dissolve from your reality. And so it's going to be very difficult for you in the coming years to kind of watch things and take a side. It's not to say that there aren't going to be sides to take, because there always is. No matter how you want to slice this planetary experience, you are going to see something as right or wrong, good or bad. You will. It's duality. We live in duality and polarity. And so that gets to be okay. But what you're going to see is that divide that's so tight is going to start to open. So there's going to be more and more of this acceptance. It just isn't going to make sense to have these like separations. It's too exhausting. The other thing is that we've been rattled so much in 2024 that we're really exhausted. And so 2025, you're really just gonna be doing the bare minimum, getting yourself quiet, getting yourself still, finding yourself in more joy in your work, and joy with people in your life, joy in experiencing life. Joy is going to be a big piece for a lot of people, right? It's not so much about, oh my God, how can I make as much money as possible? Or how can I have the greatest house? Or those things aren't going to matter as much. It's the simple things in life that matter the most. Um, and it's going to be feeling states, how I feel, the feeling states of it. Um, so yeah, that is my quick synopsis of 2024, 2025. Um, what's in your um, you know I don't know, try not to get so caught up in all the stories and all the at some point humanity will hopefully stop doing this. I don't know, maybe 15, 20, 25. I don't know, probably not. um but the sensationalized stories, they bleed, they pull your life force energy. They really do. um if one takeaway you could take with you into 2025 is maybe perhaps stop listening to all of the um doom and gloom, or sensationalized, oh my God. I want you to think about all the videos you watched where people were telling you like, oh, this is coming and this is coming and oh my God. And like, I want you to look back and say, okay, well, what did that do for me? And was it necessary? Like where you are right now, December 31st, 2024, was it necessary? Did it serve you? And just think about that going into 2025. Where do you want to put your focus? Where do you want to put your energy? I really encourage us to take our focus away from the doom and gloom, or the, this is coming, this is coming. And instead, think about how you can look out in the world and serve it better. Take that energy of focusing on all these stories and all this stuff and look out in the world and say, how can I serve from a different place? Right? What if it's not so much about all of that? Or do this, turn it down a little. Instead of, 75% of your focus on that stuff and 25% on other stuff, maybe do 50% on all the stuff you need to know that's going on in the world, and put a little bit more, 25%, 30%, 40% out in service, right? In a different way. Look out in the world as if it's gifting you with something. Wow, what is life gifting me? What are the people that are going to come into my life today? Right? Instead of like, a lot of people walk around like, I can't believe everybody's so asleep. I can't believe they're doing this. I can't believe they're doing that. It's like maybe in 2025, we can have a little more compassion, and a little more empathy, and serve a little bit more. Open your hearts, give more, love more, allow for more diversity, and see what happens in your life. All right, you guys, I love you so much. I am heading to Kenya. Follow me along on my journey. You guys know that I love to share my Kenya journey with you all. And so next week we will be in Kenya. We will be in Lake Nakuru. When I go live, it will be dark, so you won't be able to see the lake, but please join and come along with me. Make sure you're following me on social media so that you can see these stories and these reels. If you're in my Patreon community, we'll be doing some really cool events there. And I'll be doing some uh, videos updated or daily, not daily, but, messages that are coming through as I travel. If you're not in my Patreon community, get in there. We are moving my Patreon community over this month to a new community. And I'm really excited about that. It's called the School of Remembrance, SOAR. No mistake that it's, God always shows me in little winks, what's next. And so my community that we are starting is called the School of Remembrance. And the abbreviation is SOAR. So we are going to be soaring through 2025. I can tell you that much. But if you join the Patreon community now at the rate that it is now, you get grandfathered in this month. So join us. It's a beautiful community. Join me in Kenya. I'll see you guys. See you guys there. I love you very much. Thank you so much, Rory, for that super chat. Appreciate it. And the 1999 super chat. I don't know who that was, but thank you. And have an incredible New Year's Eve if you are still in New Year's Eve on the 31st. If you are on the 1st of January, welcome to 2025. What a ride it's going to be. Expect miracles. Stop trying to predict anything and let life gift you instead. Let life surprise you. Let it surprise you over and over and over. Surprises are much better because they are the miracles that life wants to gift you. And the more you try to predict everything that's coming, less miracles you receive. So let this year be all about miracles. I hope that my prayer is that you receive more joy, more abundance, more love, more alignment, more peace, more calm, more health than any other year of your life, and that you really start to embody who you came here to be, soul and God in form, and that 2025 is one of the most miraculous years of your life. Thank you for being with me here in Untangled this past year. And I will see you next week in 2025, episode 113. And let's do this. I love you. Mwah.